I ruined my aunt and I'm not sorry. My name's Abby. I turned 18 a couple of months ago. It should have been a celebration. You know, balloons, cake, the whole shebang. Instead it turned into a goddamn soap opera. My parents are the picture of small-town wealthy but not ostentatious love. High school sweethearts, the whole 9 yards. They built a good life for us, me and my twin brothers McGee and Ben. Everything was normal and happy. Until it wasn't. My birthday party was in full swing. Music playing, people laughing, the usual awkward small talk with distant relatives. Then Aunt Lacey, Dad's sister, showed up. She's always been a presence. Loud, opinionated, and with a knack for stirring the pot. She had this woman with her holding a little kid maybe 4 or 5 years old. I didn't think much of it at first, just assumed it was some friend of hers. Boy, was I wrong. Halfway through the cake cutting, Lacey stood up, cleared her throat, and then dropped a bomb that could have leveled a small city. She introduced the woman as my dad's affair partner, claiming he'd left her and their child after the kid was born. Said he'd promised to leave my mother but never did. Then she pulled out her phone and started flashing screenshots. Text messages, photos, the works. She then sent them to the family group chat. I couldn't even process it. It was like watching a movie, a really bad one. The room went silent. You could hear the ice clinking in people's glasses. My mom looked like she was going to faint. My brothers were staring at Dad, their faces a mix of disbelief and anger. I just stood there frozen. Lacey, with a smug grin, grabbed the woman and the kid and just walked out. Like she'd just finished a perfectly executed magic trick. The rest of the party? A disaster. People made awkward excuses to leave, whispering to each other as they went. I retreated to my room, the music still echoing faintly, now a mocking soundtrack to my misery. McGee and Ben followed, their faces dark. Downstairs, I could hear my parents arguing, their voices rising and falling in waves of desperate, angry confusion. Then came the social media storm. Lacey, of course, took to every platform she could find, painting my dad as a monster. The extended family, always eager to chime in, added fuel to the fire. Everyone had an opinion, everyone had something to say. My phone buzzed constantly with notifications, a constant reminder of the chaos. The next few weeks were a blur of shouting matches, slammed doors, and icy silences. We had a family sit-down, if you could call it that. It was more like a public execution. Everyone laid into Dad, demanding answers, accusing him of betrayal. He looked lost and confused, like he was trapped in a nightmare. He kept saying he didn't understand, that he didn't recognize the woman or the child. Meanwhile, my senior year turned into a living hell. I was the gossip of the school. Every hallway, every lunch table, and every bathroom stall was filled with whispers. I'd come home crying, and McGee and Ben, usually my protectors, were too consumed by their own anger and confusion to offer much comfort. They just added to the pressure, demanding answers from Dad, pushing him harder than anyone. Dad got tired. He hired a private investigator. And Ben, who's a tech whiz, started digging into online records, trying to find anything that could shed light on the situation. But it was like trying to find a needle in a haystack. There was nothing. The PI took a week, then came back with a big fat nothing. That's when I snapped. I was tired. Tired of the whispers, the stares, the constant tension in our house. Tired of seeing my parents tear each other apart. Tired of my brothers acting like I was just another bystander in their war. So I did something stupid. I leaked some of Lacey's private messages. I got a hacker friend. Nothing incriminating, just some petty gossip about other family members, and a few particularly nasty comments about her ex-husbands. I made sure it got to the right people. The fallout was spectacular. Lacey went ballistic. Screaming phone calls, threats, the whole 9 yards. She was so focused on damage control that she forgot about my dad for a while. That gave Dad's PI enough breathing room. The extended family, now caught in their own web of drama, started turning on each other. And yeah, I know it was wrong. I know I shouldn't have stooped to her level. But honestly, I don't care. I felt like I was fighting back, not just being a victim. It was messy, but for a few glorious days the focus was off my dad, off my family. It was on Lacey and her chaos. After a long wait, the PI came back. The evidence was damning. Lacey had manipulated the woman, fabricated texts, and staged photos. The woman was one of her longtime friends who needed the money. The woman, a single mother struggling, and used her situation to get to my father. The 5 of us were stunned after the PI left. We all apologized to my dad, then I and my brothers left so mom and dad could talk. We went to Ben's room and he was fuming, saying we should get revenge and ruin her life. McGee and I listened. We didn't say anything, but after we all calmed down we laughed about it all. Then we made fake emails and social media accounts. We waited till our parents were out, then we made copies of everything. We took scans and more. We sent so many emails and made so many posts the next day. It was fun. Took exactly 4 hours to go viral. The dominoes fell quickly. The comments from her friends and her husband. The same people who had cheered her on now turned their backs on her. The extended family started to crumble. There was a twisted satisfaction in watching her life fall apart. A part of me felt a dark, vindictive glee. But there was also a hollowness, a sense that we had descended to her level. It took 2 weeks for her to show up at our door. And less than that for others to come apologizing. Lacey showed up at our door furious. Our parents weren't home yet. She was yelling at us, saying that she knew what our dad had done and that she lost her job over it and her husband was leaving. She yelled for 45 minutes till McGee pushed her out the door. He told her that she was acting crazy and she should leave. When our parents came home we told them everything. They asked us if we wanted to move and start fresh. We asked for some time to think and we got a few days. After talking things over I agree. Since the move would have affected me the most. The same people who had judged Dad now wanted to make amends. But the damage was done. We were tired of the toxicity, the judgment, the constant scrutiny. We sold our house, packed our bags and moved to a different state. We cut off the toxic branches of our family tree, leaving them to their drama. After the move we did family therapy. Mom and Dad also did couples counseling. It made us all closer. McGee and Ben went off to college, which sucked. They check in to see how I'm doing, but it doesn't feel the same. Lacey is still saying she did nothing wrong and that Dad ruined her life, but she can kick rocks. Thanks for listening.